Hey everybody, how's it going today? In today's video I want to cover a topic that I've been waiting until I got to this point to cover, and that is how I grew my Instagram to 40,000 followers. This is a question that's very commonly asked, and so I decided to make a video on it, kind of as well as giving you tips on how to grow your Instagram, and just kind of like giving you a really good guideline on how I did mine. This isn't necessarily the best method for every single person on Instagram, and I can discuss that in a future video, like the different types of Instagrams there are, but for the type of Instagram account that I've been growing, this is what's worked for me. And like I said, I've grown 40,000 followers in the past 3 months. I'll post pictures to prove it, and I'm also going to share my analytics with you here in a little bit. I'll post screenshots straight onto this video. So with that being said, I wanted to get into the first topic, which is early growth stages. Now, this can typically be pretty hard for people because in the beginning, when you have less than 600 people, 600 followers, no one's really caring about your content, and that's just the truth. Unless you're a private page or a personal page and you have friends that you interact with. In that case, 600, that's a pretty good number. With that being said, if you're trying to grow a niche page, 600 and lower is kind of smaller. It depends on your following as well. So the way that I do this is basically by following and unfollowing, and I know that's probably an answer that you didn't want to hear, but the truth be told is if you don't interact with people, whether or not you're commenting or following, unfollowing, then you're going to have to get promotion somehow, and most of the time, that leads to paying money. And for me, I didn't want to pay money on this because I knew I could do it for free. With that being said, the follow unfollow method I used is pretty simple. I would do it twice a day, and I would do it in sessions of either 75 to 100-ish. I got action blocked a couple times, which if anyone's grown accounts before, you know what that is. It's where you can't interact with stuff for a day or two. But over time, your actions that are allowed to you daily build up. So this allows me to do 75 to 100 a day. So I would follow 75 people in the morning and 75 people in the evening. And that's just honestly how I did it. There's a couple other things to do in the beginning, such as posting 1 to 3 times a day, depending on how you're going to take the approach. For me, in the beginning, I was posting once a day because I was I already had a feed. And the feed is basically just the scrolling part of your page. You don't want to only have 6 pictures on there because then you look like a new account. So once you have 30 pictures, you can post only once a day, but I have found for the best growth in the beginning, you're going to want to post twice a day, and those posts are going to want to be at the same time consistently daily. Also, when you're in the early stages, you want to make sure to interact with people. This is a real big thing. You just want to make sure that everyone knows who you are. You want to post on your story. And just stick consistent to these tried and true ways, such as following and unfollowing and posting consistently. With that being said, you can't just post terrible content, and you'll learn this as you're posting, what's going to do good on your page and what's not going to do good, and you have to adapt over time to do that. So to wrap up this first little topic, which is the early growth stages, we're going to just say that it's A, following and unfollowing, B, posting good content, and 3, staying consistent on all your efforts to grow. As long as you stay true to these, you'll grow over time. A lot of people give up after a month or two, but truth be told, it's right before you blow up is typically when people give up. So if you just stick to it, you're most likely going to be successful on Instagram. You just have to really actually care about it. And with that being said, I'm going to move into the middle growth stages, which is between 1,000 followers to 10,000 followers. And there's a couple of different things that you're going to want to be doing in between at this time. Once I hit about 3,000 to 4,000 followers, I was following 8,000 or 9,000 people. And so what you do is you start the unfollowing process, and it's basically the exact same as the following process, except for unfollowing. It can be a little more tedious because unfollowing is a lot slower than following. But I mean, at the end of the day, you got to unfollow all those people in order to have a clean look on your page, and you don't want to look like a bot account, so you have to unfollow them. Between 1 and 10,000 as well, you're going to figure out in your niche where the road bump is, and the road bump is basically going to be where you start hitting explore. For bigger niches such as travel and cars and automotive, it's going to be a lot higher of a number, probably 8 to 9,000, I think, maybe even 10 to 20,000 range. I haven't discovered that niche yet. With other accounts, maybe photography, if you're doing really quality posts, you could probably hit that road bump at 3,000 or 4,000 followers, which is pretty solid because it's not super hard to get to 3,000 or 4,000, after 2 or 3 months after working at it decently. And truth be told is this doesn't take a lot of time per day if you don't want it to. I know for me personally, I was really lazy with it in the beginning when I was going between 2 to 10,000 followers. I would get on every morning and post once and then just go do my daily routine. Once I hit 10,000 followers, I kind of took it a little more seriously, and I put a little bit more time into it. But anyways, so between 2 to 10,000 followers, I would wake up every morning, which was about 10 o'clock in the morning, which I found was a good time for me to post. And I would post, I would then proceed to hop in the shower. After I would shower, I would then just sit down for 5 minutes a day and unfollow. And then I would typically do a session in the evening time, like I would go to work, my daily routine, and I'd at work, I'd get breaks, and so on my breaks, that's been 10 minutes unfollowing. And I just did that for 1 to 2 months until I unfollowed all 8,000 or 9,000 people. And now I have 40,000 followers, and I'm following one person, which is myself, and it looks really good. So truth be told is you gotta put in the time and work in the beginning of Instagram, but it's gonna pay off because you will start growing pretty heavily, and you'll start getting a lot of messages, and it all pays off, and it's just really nice. Another thing that I wanted to touch on was to post what you enjoy. So I recommend that if you get into a smaller niche because it's what you like, then don't feel bad at all. I know that I've tried to grow accounts in really large niches, and I've given up, like I said, you don't want to do. And I'm going to be honest, it's just really easy to give up, because if you were doing a bunch of, traveling stuff, but you're not doing any traveling, well, it doesn't pertain to any of your day-to-day life activities. So me personally, I do like to do aesthetic pictures or maybe some car stuff. I like cars a lot. And so those pages are a lot easier for me to grow because I'm already looking at the content when I'm off the clock of Instagram. If I'm not working on my pages and I'm just scrolling through, on my personal, I can find really cool posts and dig inspiration from them, which is then going to lead me on to making higher quality posts for my page. And so I guess the moral of that is to just don't get into a niche because you think it's got higher potential to make you more money or get you more followers. I would rather have a page with 150,000 followers that I absolutely love the page rather than 1 million followers and I just dread posting every day. And that's the truth. I'll stick to that for as long as I do Instagram, for the sole fact of I've tried growing niche accounts where I'm not interested in, and it's just extremely hard. I don't like posting on them. It's really not enjoyable. With that being said, we'll roll into our next topic, which I have on here. Don't sell ads in the beginning. So when you start hitting 5 to 15,000 followers, you're going to start getting a lot of DMs from people, whether or not it's, hey, I'm either a really big fan of you, or B, do you sell promotion? Do you sell ads? And I never sell ads in the beginning, because as soon as you start selling ads, your audience starts recognizing that, oh, this guy's making money off this Instagram page, as opposed to doing it out of passion. So I'm at 40,000 followers, and I've not ran any ads on my page. If I would run an ad on one of my niche pages, it would be someone that I personally know, or someone that I'm actually close to, something that pertains to my niche as well. Because I don't want to interrupt my feed with some random advertisement, and my followers don't want to see it either. Also, if you're 40, 50,000 followers and you're growing a lot, why would you make the growth go down just for $20, $30? And I know $20, $30 can be a lot to some people, but there's a lot bigger number at the end of the tunnel if you just stick it out and don't put any ads on your stuff. So don't put any ads on your account in the beginning. Also, it's against the Instagram terms of service, so you don't want to be caught doing that, because that can risk your account and that's just more stress on you. So honestly, at that point, if I were you, if it's just that big of a stress, if it's just that big of a stressor, then just spend less time on the account each day. Only post once a day rather than 2 or 3 times. You don't want to stress yourself out on this. And that being said, I wouldn't even get stressed out if you take off a day or two. I know that out of the days that I've been posting for the last 3.5, 4 months, that I've grown to 40,000, and I've taken some days off because it was just a long day. The other day was my birthday, and so I was I'm not going to post today, and I didn't post. But the next day that I posted, I got 1,200 followers, which is a pretty good day for me on the account. So don't stress yourself out too much over it. Just enjoy your life and let this be something that you enjoy rather than looking at it as a job. Unless you want to look at it as a job, in which you can, but my approach is to just make this a fun way to grow your Instagram account, as well as build an online presence. After that, we're going to roll into listen to your fans, and you're going to start to develop fans, and that's just the truth. You're going to see people that are commenting, that you're going to start recognizing them pretty persistently into your comment section. You're going to start getting messages. You might start getting messaged on your personal account, And this is like awesome. I started going live on Instagram recently on my larger account for the sole fact that I love talking to all the people on there. And it's just really a good experience. You know, you do get a couple haters that are going to message you with some stuff like that, but I just totally push them aside. What you come to realize is that people truly enjoy, you know, they appreciate your efforts, and that's not something to look over. You know, I like to engage with them. I like to, you know, tell everybody to, like, how is their day going, interact with them, you know, tell them how to have a good day. I'll talk to people. They'll go engage on my personal, I'll go engage back, and it means a lot to people, and it's also really cool for you to be able to engage with your fans. Now, as you get bigger, of course, you're not going to be able to engage with anybody, which is just the sad fact, unless you spend like 8 hours a day working on it. But some is better than none, and so I just like to engage with your fans. Also, if you engage with the people that are heavily watching your videos, you're always going to have a consistent like follower base. Even if everyone else was to unfollow, you know, you'd have people that genuinely enjoy you as a person, that want to stick around with you for the long run, which is good to have. So that's probably the main points I wanted to go over, like the early growth stages of Instagram, how I grew my account to 40K. I know that this video wasn't necessarily how I grew my account to 40K, even though I discussed some growth methods. But before the video ends, I do want to go over it. So between 0 to 5,000 followers, I followed and unfollowed. And then I literally just posted consistently every single day, twice a day. That's honestly the simplest way I can put it. You can do 3 times a day if you want, and the trick is to just have quality content. Now, if you're doing this for your personal page, then that's a different video for me to make. I'm trying to grow my personal right now, and I've had a little bit of progress with it, but you're going to want to ultimately make an account where you're posting other people's content, other viral content, where you're giving them credit, and you want to grow this account, because then you have the ability to grow extremely fast. And once you have a large following, you can really funnel it anywhere. So I'm working on a second page right now that has original content that's growing pretty solid. I'm not having to follow and unfollow as much anymore. And I look forward to talking about that video here in, 2-3 months, where I'm hopefully at 5,000 or 10,000 followers on it, fingers crossed. So I just really encourage you to, make a page in a niche that you like. If you're really into arts and crafts, then make an arts and crafts page, because even if you aren't necessarily proud of your page because it hasn't grown like a whole lot, if you're putting in a little bit of time and you enjoy posting the content, then what's the worst that could happen? I mean, that's just the truth. So if you did enjoy this video, be sure to let me know down below what I could do to improve it, as well as what video ideas you'd like to see, because like I said, there's a couple of different types of Instagram accounts. I'd like to make a video called like 5 different types of Instagram accounts, because that's just an interesting thing to know, and you can look at different accounts and kind of break them down when you know these 5 different types of accounts. As well as a couple more shoe videos coming up. I know for the people on my channel that watch my shoe unboxings, they like them quite a bit. So I do have a couple more of those coming up. I know I haven't posted in the past 30 days, and the truth be told is like everything going on in the world right now, I've just been working a whole lot to help my parents out, and that's just the truth. But if you did enjoy this video, I wanted to let you know that I'm really going to start trying to hit these uploads consistently, as well as, work at this really hard. I'm about to really push the channel out pretty hard, and hopefully there's some pretty cool giveaways for y'all. Right now I'm at about 300 subscribers, so y'all are like really early on. Hopefully you're really early on if I continue to grow on here. And yeah, I just want to thank all of you for watching so far, and stick with me, and I promise that everyone who's stuck around with me will be rewarded. And yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say. If you did enjoy this video, like I said, please leave a like down below. It helps out a tremendous amount. And with that being said, I hope you have a good day.